I am the Immaculate Conception. I'm posting this video on Apparitions of the Blessed Virgin Mary on the Feast of Our Lady of Lourdes, which is one of her apparitions. There is one other on the Universal calendar, Our Lady of the Snows, from way back in 300-400s, when it snowed in August to point out where Mary wanted a church built to her honor in Rome. The apparition at Lourdes was to thank the Church, and especially Pope Pius IX, for the definition of the Immaculate Conception. She was confirming this doctrine, and could have paved the way for infallibility. So let us look at a few of her other apparitions. Let us go back to Quito, Ecuador, and I believe in the early 1600s. Our Lady of Good Success. I have also seen her the name of Our Lady of Good Fortune. Now, in this particular video, I'm not going to go into great detail into all of these apparitions. I just want to bring out a few points. So go read Our Lady of Good Success. Every time I read it, and I don't know how many times I've read it, it blows my socks off. I keep having to get new pairs of socks because I get them blown off. Okay. But what did Mary do there? She accurately described what was going to happen in the last century and a half, from like 1850 to the year 2000. In fact, it's still going on today. We're still seeing the end of this. She saw how bad things were going to get. Of course, she is in heaven. She's right next to God, and God lets her know a few things. And God, on occasion, says, Mary, go warn my people to straighten up. We don't usually do it, but God gives us warnings. And let us go to La Salette. 3 warnings in the main apparition of La Salette. The first, Mary said, these 3 things are weighing down my son's arm. I'm holding him back. I can't hold much longer. He's going to drop the hammer on you. You got it coming, boys and girls. The first, taking the Lord's name in vain. Those who drive carts can't do so without bringing my son's name into it. We do not take this commandment seriously enough. 3 letters is a mortal sin, and I will not use them here. They're used in text messages. I've seen them on Facebook. I've seen it on a t-shirt. Poor dang kid. 9 letters, 3 of which are mortal sin. Here's a poor little kid walking around with a mortal sin on it in front of him. He has no idea. We know better. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. Just don't do it. The second thing, failure to sanctify Sunday. When she came to La Salette, churches were within walking distance, and people would not make the trip. I think she did decry the fact that when they did make the trip in the winter because they didn't have anything better to do, it was to snicker and laugh at the preacher. It was for entertainment. This is why we lost the Holy Sacrifice of Mass. We were not taking it seriously in the last half of the 1800s and the first half of the 1900s. Those who went to Mass went out of duty, not out of love of God. And after they left Mass, they might as well not have been there. And the third thing she said, during Lent, the people go to the butchers like dogs. People did not fast and abstain during Lent. Lent is coming up shortly. Are we going to observe the minimal fast laws we have today? Shouldn't we have tried to exceed them? And that's the main part of La Salette, these 3 points. And it's gotten lost because of the secret of La Salette. It is my opinion The Secret of La Salette was written for Pope Pius IX, just as the Third Secret of Fatima was also for either Pope Pius XI or Pope Pius XII. Melanie asked for the information on two words: infallibility and Antichrist. In the versions of the Secret running around, which are condemned by the index, by the way, you can go look on the internet, type in La Salette Secret Condemned Index, something like that. You're going to find the condemnations. They are valid. In those, you'll find, of course, the word Antichrist, but there's not a word about infallibility. Pope Pius IX was questioned on the Secret of La Salette, and he gave us the one thing we need to know. He quoted from Scripture, "Unless you do repent, you shall all likewise perish." Mary was warning us at La Salette, evil times are coming. The Secret probably goes into more detail. But let's forget the Secret. Let's do what we're told to do. Sanctify Sunday. Observe the fast and abstinence laws of the Church, and do not use the Lord's name in vain. Now I'm going to move forward to Fatima. Fatima was a big warning to us. Mary came to ask for many things. Actually, only a few things. Go look it up. I mean, we should all be familiar with it. The third secret of Fatima has not and probably never will be revealed. That fiction that came out of the Vatican is just that, and we'll find out why it is in a minute. We do have a few clues about the third secret of Fatima, and these clues help us to see what Mary was warning us of. I've seen it written that as soon as Lucia dos Santos wrote the secret down, gave it to the Church, it could have been revealed right then. She said it should be revealed in 1960. She gave instructions to her bishop and to the Cardinal Patriarch. And that even in itself is significant. Not one word to the Pope. Why? Because the secret would be clear in 1960. Lucia could have known from the secret that the papacy would be vacant in 1960, and indeed it was. Okay, so the third secret of Fatima would be clear in 1960. Now, I just recently read in a book, False Friends of Fatima. It's an interesting book. I consider them false friends of Fatima as well. In any case, it is an interesting book, and I picked up one piece of information that was absolutely fascinating. In early 1959, Sister Lucy asked for permission to speak to the world on the radio about Fatima. Now here she's wanting to come out of her Carmelite cloister to speak to the world about Fatima. Now why did she want to do that? Had the secret already become clearer in 1959? She's, and probably a few other people who have actually read the real secret, know for sure. But from her action, I would think she's saying she wanted to come out and give us one last warning. The Vatican silenced her. Now, many think the Vatican silenced her means she wasn't allowed to talk. I believe that between this request at the beginning, towards the beginning of 1959 and July the 2nd of 1959, when a letter came from supposedly Sister Lucy of Fatima in answer to inquiry about the Father Fuentes interview from, I think, 57, and it kind of denied the Fuentes interview report. I think Sister Lucia dos Santos, was martyred. Because when communists say silenced, they don't mean duct tape over the mouth. They mean a bullet through the head. It is my opinion that Sister Lucy was martyred at that time, somewhere in there. The quote Sister Lucy, and just go on the internet, you can see the pictures, their websites of the real Sister Lucy and the fake one that talked to Anti-Pope Paul VI and Anti-Pope John Paul II. That's not the same woman. let us go to 1953, Syracuse, Sicily. No, Mary did not appear as in an actual apparition. It was a cheap plastic statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary, probably yay high or so. Just began crying. And did for quite a while. There's some miracles connected with it. I've read a book on it. I forget the name of it. In any case, all of the big names, cardinals and bishops and stuff were coming from Rome to see this statue. According to this book, the author believed that this was the tears of a mother. Like, I've tried everything else to get you to straighten up. All I can do is cry. And we didn't listen. And because we did not listen, the great apostasy which was foretold in Quito, Ecuador, probably in the secret of La Salette, probably in the third secret of Fatima, came to happen in the last half of the 20th century as predicted by several other private prophets. Consider the vision of Leo XIII, which points to that time frame as the culmination. The devil said, I can take it down 75 to 100 years if you give me a chance. 75 years in 1959. We did not listen. And so we got the great apostasy. And in another video and elsewhere, I do plan on addressing how people underestimate the problem in the church, and that's why they're in the wrong pew. But I want to get to 2 points. And that was the whole purpose of this. Our Lady came to Pfaffenhofen in about early 50s, I believe, as well. And I want to say one thing. Pfaffenhofen, I don't think it's had church approval, I believe, is probably true. But this is why Mary stopped coming around this time, why she cried at Syracuse. The circuses had begun, such as Nusita, I think, began 50. Then we have Bayside, Medjugorje. I mean, they're all over the world. I don't think Mary has come since the 50s. There may be an exception coming maybe soon or around this time. She might come to someone. That's a possibility. I don't know how she plans on working. But let's go back to Pfaffenhofen. She was asked, is she going to do another big miracle like Miracle of the Sun? She says no. People just have more responsibility because they have not listened. She said no, instead she's going to work miracles in souls, in hearts. Mary's Immaculate Heart must triumph in our own souls and our own hearts. Don't worry about the rest of the world. Yes, I want to see the rest of the world convert. But I got to convert myself first. Conversion begins at home. And this leads us to our second point. At Fatima, she said, no matter what happens, she gave 2 scenarios. The best case scenario would be the conversion to Russian, period of peace. Then she didn't really say it, but it probably would have been said in the third secret. Then there'll be the fall off. The worst case scenario, which is what we had, we did not have the period of peace, we're not getting it. We will get the conversion of Russia. Okay? She said, if they don't listen, it will be late, but it will happen. And indeed, that's the point. Because she said, in the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. This was not conditional like the period of peace. Don't wait on that period of peace. We blew it. It's not coming. Don't wait on it. There is a period of peace coming because this is the triumph of the Immaculate Heart. The Fathers of the Church are unanimous in teaching that after the death of Antichrist, you can look in other videos, we know he's come and gone, there will be a universal conversion. The whole world will convert. This, we believe, is the triumph of the Immaculate Heart. She will come and crush the head of the serpent and of his Antichrist. She will destroy the conciliar church. She will destroy all heresies. She will destroy paganism. She will destroy modernism. All this she will destroy. Her Immaculate Heart will triumph. The whole world will convert and become Catholic. She will crush the head of the serpent. And that is the point. In the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. Oh, Blessed Virgin Mary, may this triumph come soon, and may my participation in this triumph, may I do my part, be exactly as God and you will. Because God expects us to work with Him, with His Blessed Mother. So, O Mary, lead me to begin the universal conversion by converting myself. Have a great day. May God bless you, and may His Blessed Mother work in your soul.